Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. I am being indecisive about what to go and make to eat, so I thought I'd just make this video just because it's something that's happening right now, and it's like very dystopian and stuff, but it's something I've got to share. But basically, like, so the stalking and everything isn't just like people that want to remain hidden or like unknown, you know, hackers and stuff anymore. On Instagram, I've got my own, like, it's like a personal chauffeur, but like my own personal troll that's like on, like, just on my page, on my Instagram profile, just spreading like Zionist propaganda, like in the comments. And like he was doing it, I don't know if it's a he or a she, I don't know what they are, but yeah, they're like spreading Zionist propaganda on a post I wrote about Syria. And they just wouldn't, like, they're like, people don't realize, like, these people don't have a purpose. Like, their purpose in life is to be a troll. Their purpose in life is to create a false competition. They wouldn't have any sense of like anything if they didn't have like Palestinians as an enemy. We don't give two shits about them. That's what, like, they don't realize we don't give two shits about them. And it's literally the only reason. It's like literally the same thing happened on my Instagram profile. I was just like, you're a troll, get off my page. I was just like saying, just get off my page. Like, why are you on my page? Just get off my page. And they're just like vultures. They're like parasites and vultures. Really desperate, clingy leeches. Like, like stupid as well. Like stupid, degenerate people. Like really degenerate. And like, they don't get it that we don't give two shits about them. Like, our struggle as Palestinians, as our liberation movement, has got nothing to do with them. Like, it's got nothing to do with them. It's our own journey, our own sovereign journey. It's our own journey to break generational curses and break all of these curses all that have been put over our lives. It actually, like, we don't give two shits about them, like, not the slightest. And the only way they become relevant is by bringing their bullshit to our doorstep. That's the only way they become relevant in our lives. And I was just like, I kept saying, you're irrelevant, just get off my page. And they kept coming back with this, just trying to like use my own language and stuff, but in like, or like basically spin propaganda, but it's everything that's true about ISIS Rail. But they would just call, like, they would just frame it in a way that it was anti-Zionist Palestinians, and like, but they'd be just speaking everything that Zionists are doing, like, to Palestinians, and they just, that person took it upon themselves to be like a personal troll. Like, they didn't. That's their purpose, and they're possessed, they're demonic, and they don't even realize like how bad it is. Like, they have no purpose. They have no path of their own. Their whole raison d'etre is to be a troll. Like, that is their whole existence on this earth, is to be an adversary and be exploitative. And this person was like, I was like I was like, your job is to like troll, like, get off my page. And then He was like, actually, I work in finance. I was like, well, if you have a proper job, get off my page. Like, why are you on my page? But basically, like, the way ISIS rail people do finance is all criminal. Like, they're criminals. They're fraudsters. They embezzle. They commit perjury. They commit forgery. They just do paperwork fraudulently to steal assets. That's what they do. I've come into contact with it 3 times on the journey to getting business finance, like from startup finance. I've come into contact 3 times with financial institutions in the UK that want to steal my house, that want to give me a loan in the short term that is not going to actually help me or anything, and want me to sign it away. And then basically, like, obviously I suss it out, but they think that you're so desperate for the money that you're going to sign your life away. And like, it's like pulling teeth to try and get the actual financial legal system and stuff to actually see what's going on. And like, this particular troll as well was like going on about Zionist Manchester and Zionist this and Zionist that. But I've had such strange things happen at my house for 2 years. It's like been 2 years of harassment by the council, by the DVLA, like all these drones and everything, like letters not getting to me and stuff that have like had repercussions of me not receiving those letters, like legal repercussions. Like, loads of different things have been happening for 2 years. And it's basically been since I did that tour that I did with the Amos Trust. After that, there was like a definite before and after where I could just freely create and post and stuff online, and it wasn't really tampered with and stuff. And then after that, it's like people have been like literally trying to infiltrate and like hold me back and stuff. It's really, very odd. But these people, these stalkers do stalk you and like try and infiltrate your life. And they don't have any qualms, and they get the state involved in it. They forge stuff, like send false reports and false documents to gain favour, and get the the state and the council and stuff to harass their own citizen. I haven't done anything. Just trying to do my own life. That's it. And basically, they don't have their own life. They're not doing anything for themselves, or haven't grown anything for themselves, or improved or anything, or built anything worth or value for themselves. They get value from being a pest and harassing, slandering, defaming. Like, basically, Zionists, everything about them is criminal. They've broken every law. And like, you see them on video, like that it's like a rite of passage when they kill a Palestinian. Like, when they kill a Palestinian, it's like they get like, it's glory for them. That's it's like they see, you know, they get like props and stuff amongst their peers. That's the sort of, like, that's how illegal acts are treated in that society. And they basically want to infiltrate that psyche and that mentality and stuff like it's normal. That it's not normal. Like, they basically commit every crime and nobody punishes them. Nobody does anything. Like, and basically now the actual universal law is going to kick into effect. Universal law is kicking into effect, where they can't do that anymore without justice landing on their head. That's what's going to happen. Justice is going to land on their head. And every time they think they can just they basically think that, like what happened, like in my circumstance, I'm just doing a very ordinary process of trying to get business finance for a startup, yeah, and find myself in very serious corruption situation where I have to pull myself out and then go and report it and stuff, and then still banging on like doors and stuff to have this reported and looked at, because it's very exploitative and scandalous, really. Like, it's criminal. It shouldn't be these financial institutions need to be shut down. They need to be shut down. And like basically, like I didn't go looking for that. I just went to use my own asset that I've built up myself over many, many years. Like I saved up 5 years for, you know, to have money for a deposit for a house before I even, so I made sacrifices. Like this was in my 20s. What does most people do in their 20s? Most people that I knew weren't doing what I was doing in my 20s. So like in my early 20s, that's what I was doing. And then basically I've been paying for everything by myself for 10 years. And these people think that you desperately need them. And you don't. You're not. They're desperate and leechy. They are the desperate ones. They are the ones that think that you don't read shit, like, and you don't look at things and like scrutinize it and like critically, you don't critically think. And then when you're just like, no, this is dodgy. And what they try and do is like one of the experiences is like, so basically when you go through those situations, you have to get your house valued and stuff. And one valuer in my house deliberately was trying to like, it was like psychologically abusive to me in my house, like on purpose, to like create a situation where I would feel undervalued and like not good about myself, and like, you know, I would have no esteem, or like he was really going for it in the 15 minutes that I was in my house. Probably not even that. He went to town with his like psychological abuse and just dissing out. Like he was basically didn't have it in him. So he actually acknowledged that everything that I've done is by myself, of like how I've done my house, but he didn't have it in him to acknowledge and like praise me or anything like that, or say well done. He went round the house and was trying to just insult everything he could, insult it all, everything, and then he was trying to say that he needed full architect's drawings to make a valuation. When have you ever heard that? Like, no. And then it came to like after, he wasn't even a fully qualified surveyor. He was like not even, he was called a valuer, which doesn't even have qualifications. So he's just a criminal. He's just a third party criminal, basically. And that's what these Zionists do. Like they have unqualified people, but they somehow managed to get regulation stamps on their organizations. So they don't, so they're basically, what they're called, like the ombudsman and the regulatory bodies, like it's hard for them to penetrate and criticize what their acts are, because they say that they don't have the, like, it's not in their kind of jurisdiction to call financial institutions that are regulated fraud, but they are fraud and they need to be reported, because they don't actually represent any of the standards that they're signed up to. And how they got the regulation thing is a mystery. Doing those practices, how they got it in the first place, is also a mystery. So, and this person, I don't even know what he does in finance, but everything that Zionists do in terms of finance is gambling. It's not actually finance. It's just gambling. It's all gambling, because basically writing contracts and things like false contracts and things like that make it look like a legit deal, like what people were trying to do to me. And I was just trying to get, like, to use my own, I wasn't trying to give my asset away. So they were just seeing it as a short-term little jump for them to eventually take my asset from me. Like yeah, and then like kind of setting me up to fail, basically. I thought I wouldn't notice. Like, but this has happened 3 times in the last 18 months, so it's not like it's uncommon. 3 times. Not exactly the same circumstances. The last time was the worst. So like, they had no shame whatsoever. Like, they actually even sent me an email to ask me to go and get the settlement figure on what's left to pay on my house. Like, they actually had the audacity to do that. And they wrote the words in the email, it's not our intention to, I can't remember, but they were basically trying to say, it's not our intention to take over your house. They didn't write that, but they did write, it's not our intention. But we need this figure. Go and get it from your mortgage provider. Like, completely like brazen, like it's normal. And this lender, like finance lender, is also regulated. And then also it turned out, so when you want to take finance and you are the occupier of the property, you have to get a regulated loan arrangement. Like, they were trying to do it unregulated and trying to get a settlement figure off me for, like, completely brazen. Like, just like, it's not even audacity. There's something wrong with them. That's how they make money. They make money off sheer exploitation. It doesn't matter it didn't matter. And in these all 3 occasions, it was all at my expense, and it didn't matter what I wanted to do. So it didn't matter what the project was that I was asking for, to use my own asset to get like help with. Didn't matter. It was just like they had one track mind and agenda to steal my house, and thought I would just be a passenger and allow them to do it. And then the state having a hard time. Like, one, it's not in the right hands because it's not people at the right level, because these are very serious crimes. At the end of the day, like, trying to steal houses, it should be classed as very serious fraud that the state should be investigating, because if you add it up to how many people they've been doing it to over how much time, it will be in the millions and the billions. And so it really does need to be looked at very seriously. And they're just basically trying to view it as like an isolated incident, and like the issue of consent, like, is a grey area, because you trust them at the start and you fill out the paperwork and stuff, so it looks all legit, but then you only realize when you're in it, like, it's proper dodgy, like a lot of things, like, and then you get out basically before like a lot of damage is done. But it's really hard to get these people to listen. And then they kind of chase you even more. Like, some of these people, I was like, no, I'm reporting you to the authorities. Like, and they were just like, no, we can still help you with finance. And it's just like, no, because I figured out that you're trying to steal my house. And it's just, they're just like, there's something psychologically seriously wrong with them. Like, their purpose is to destroy. Like, it's very easy to create harm like that, and create generational curses, and create devastation and destruction and poverty. It's very easy to do that. That's their life. That's their legacy. That's what they do day in, day out, all over the world. Not just to Palestinians in Palestine. They exploitative capitalists like that, like Zion Nazis, yeah. That's what they do all over the world. It's not, yeah, and they just know how to manipulate the system to get the money out of it. like 100%, some of like people have seen like the obviously horrific news about Kamal Adwan Hospital and what happened to it. So it's for people who don't know, it's been emptied out. People have been arrested and basically sexually assaulted because they've been stripped naked and asked to leave. And this is even like wounded people, and they've set it on fire and also like detonated these explosive robots, like suicide robots. So like suicide bombers, which is actually people that strap things to their bodies and then detonate. They've actually gone into like these populated areas, put robots into and then detonated them. And basically what ISIS-REL people do, wherever they live in the world, is they use government funding. So there's government grants available for like tech startups and tech new initiatives, and they use government grant money to develop these kinds of things from wherever they are, like, and so 100% in the UK, people's taxpayers' money will have been used to develop things like that. They have technology, like what they've been doing as well is like scanning people's irises when they're queuing for aid, or like when they're emptying them out of like shelters and things. Like all of that technology that they're developing, they do it without consent, and they get the money in unscrupulous ways. They know how to extort money. They're fraudsters, embezzlers, they do perjury, they do forgery, pervert the course of justice. Everything, like everything about them is criminal. Everything about them, everything. And it infiltrates every single layer of society. And the manipulation doesn't work anymore. Like, which kind of idiot, which kind of Zionist idiot, you've got to be a certain kind of sick and stupid to go on a Palestinian person's social media page and post Zionist propaganda. Like, I'm just going to go, oh yeah, what you're saying is true. Or like people, even my followers know that I'm Palestinian. Like, there's like, my followers aren't stupid. Like, they're not stupid. Like, they're not stupid people. So, and it's so obviously bullshit as well. It's so obviously bullshit. But that person is completely possessed. Everyone, all those people behind all those dodgy contracts, that all they see is pound signs and like a new car or, you know, a holiday or whatever they're stealing your house for to fund. They're just parasites. They're just people, lustful people. They're not people who have mastered themselves or people in control of their lives or worth anything. They don't have any worth. They're just desperate people, very desperate. These are desperate acts. These are not masterful acts. These are just sick, twisted. Get everything at, doesn't care what the expense is or what the impact is on the person. No. And basically, all these people now, they've had a good run of it. They've had a really good run of it. But in 2025, no. Universal law is aligning, so justice lands on these people's heads. Because they're going to lose everything because they didn't make it in a stable and secure and in a way that actually had good foundations. Everything that you make without good foundations, it gets destroyed. So, and also like they like this. I'm just gonna say it's a guy. I don't know if it's a guy or not. But this guy, when he was like, oh well, I work in finance. People who say they work in finance, they say it because they want to get kudos. Like they wear it like they want to get props from you and stuff. And I just think people in finance don't have social skills and don't have morals. Like they're not people who are emotionally intelligent. They're very egoic people. Very egoic people, and people who are get themselves in that position because they like having power over people and rejecting people, because they fear rejecting themselves. So they put them in a position every day where they can reject people every day, and it gives them a sense of, I don't know what to call it, like, it's a fuel for them. It's a fuel, but it's not really any sense of, they don't have a real sense of self. They don't have good governance of themselves, like, but they just have this sense of power because they control money. That's it. But they don't have control of themselves, which is actual power. So when people go, oh, I work in finance, or want to brag about working in finance, it's from insecurity. It's not actually because it's not anything to be proud of. They're not doing anything to be proud of. They're not like someone they're not like a good person in MI6, for example, who was actually doing fighting financial crime and, you know, putting people like that in jail. No, they're not doing anything good for people. It's just basically like a euphemism for, I'm a professional fraudster and I'm a professional thief. I'm an organized criminal. That's basically what it means. And like, side quest is a professional troll, slanderer, defamer, whatever you want to call it. But like, just full on idiots. And then, like, what they don't know, like, they think they're the first one as well. They don't know what I've been through in my life and my training that I've had. They come in my path. They come in my path, put their bullshit on my doorstep, right? And they literally think that they're the first one. It happens all the time. And like, they don't know what lessons God has put me through. I've seen thousands of scumbags like that. I've dealt with thousands. That idiot, that literally like a professional chauffeur troll, yeah? Like, they literally think that they're something special. That is what they've signed up to do, to make them special. It's so odd. So odd. What is blocking someone I'm on my path, man. It, like, the way I've come to make my art and stuff is not like a normal, it's a very unique journey. It's not something I would have ever thought that I would ever be in or ever be doing or anything. And these, I don't know what, reprobates are coming along trying to tell me what I am, what I stand. What the hell? What is this? It's literally like fleas, you know, like literal pests, man. Like rats from a sewer. It's just literally, we've got sewage for brains. It's just, and like, I don't know, it's weird. It's so weird. And like I said at the beginning, Palestinians don't give two shits. We don't. We just want our, like, it's our inheritance, it's our land, it's our lives, it's our futures. That's it. Like, our future they don't have any bearing on it. They think they do, but they really don't have any bearing on it. God gives us our lives, and God gives us our futures, and God makes our path for us. Like, they literally think they are the controller of everything. They think that they basically have got the world held hostage, but it's not going to last, because that doesn't last. And everything is mirrored. So they're crying about hostages that the Palestinian resistance have, but it's all but ISIS-Israel have got the world held hostage. They've got the whole world held hostage. Like, it's just mirrors. It's mirror images. That's it. The whole bullshit from that person was because I made a comment somewhere else. I can't remember what it was on, like, about the Thai hostages, like the Thai hostages. So at the end of last year, like, it feels like an age ago now, the Thai hostages that were held by the Palestinian resistance, they got freed because the Thai authorities worked with the resistance to get them freed. Like, they actually had dialogue, like ordinary, rational human beings. Like, so it goes to show that the resistance aren't, like, they're not unreasonable. Do you know, like, they have actually negotiated the release of people back to a country. But anyway, it obviously brought to light the apartheid slavery conditions that has operated in ISIS-Rail. So what ISIS-Rail does with occupied Palestinian land is they ship in slaves from Thailand, from India and other countries to do all the labour work. Because these ethnic people from ISIS-Rail, yeah, these so-called ethnic people, all of the land work is beneath them. All of the building, all the buildings and everything. But what they do every day is trawl, steal money, fraudulently get grant money, embezzle money, TikTok, do bullshit on TikTok, like influencers on TikTok. That's what these native ethnic ISIS-Rail people, that's their roots, man. That's their employment. But instead, what they do is they all of this work on the land, that Palestinians, it's in them, like it's in us. We are farmers. We are farmers. Every single Palestinian, we are farmers. We know the land, yeah. Even if you're not actually physically farming, the way that you operate in life, the way that you do anything in life, it's with a farmer's mentality. Farmers are very connected to the land, grassroots, steady traditional builders, yeah, traditional slow and steady builders, yeah. That's what a farmer does. Farmers sow the seeds and they patiently wait and nurture as they go along the journey and wait for the harvest. That's what a farmer does. These people, look what the process I've described, where they just think in one deal they can con me into signing, just like getting myself into a deal that's obviously going to end up with me just ended up having to give my house to them. Like, that's not what a farmer does. That's not what a farmer does. Like, and so they basically have the siege on Gaza, and so there's no jobs in Gaza. And then they also, what they did as well, so as well as shipping labour from abroad, they did have work permits. So everyone knew about this. They had work permits from people in Gaza, which they cancelled. So that was also slavery, but people in Gaza used to cross into occupied Palestine to work there because they had no jobs. And also what they used to do is, even if the people in Gaza did actually work, so for example, Gaza has one of the biggest exports of tulips worldwide, like millions of pounds worth of tulips export. Yeah, that's what it should be. It's a very vibrant industry for people in Gaza, and they're as famous for it as the Netherlands. Yeah, and ISIS-Rail would do things like just stop the shipments. So they'd work all of the seasons and everything, and when it would get to actually shipping, exporting their own produce, they would just not allow it to be sent. So there'd be no money. So even if there was work in Gaza, they wouldn't allow the harvest from it. And it sounds all very familiar as to what I'm going through personally with what's happening to me. So I'm being blocked from making any money from anything I've produced online, but by these hackers and everything. It's all my work, and they're stealing it, doing whatever with it. It's all the same. It's all the same kind of things, yeah. And so eventually, like what they were trying to do with me is force me into trafficking and sex work online, which is obviously just ridiculous. They'd engineer the situation where people in Gaza would have to go into occupied Palestine and do the labor work there and get paid, but it's slavery. It's slavery. So they'd go into, and then this is what Israel is calling like a betrayal, like they bit the hand that fed them. No, what the hell's that? So this is what they're saying, like ISIS Israel is saying that they were helping the Palestinian people, and then if you go, so on my Instagram, it's a post about Syria and how it's now they've just accepted like terrorists to run the country. But that person was writing about how I'm a scrounger of Zionist Manchester. I'm a scrounger of Zion. Like, I've not contributed anything to this city. Like, I didn't work 14 years in the public sector and give my life for 14 years for a shit wage comparatively to what I gave and the service I gave to the people and for the prosperity of people, more specifically people with neurological conditions, people with very complex needs in society, like people that are just not really valued. Like I didn't educate myself in neuroscience. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I've lived here, and like me living here and living in this community and stuff. Where I live in Manchester is where I grew up. Like, is where I grew up. I've not actually worked to have what I have or anything, and like it's not been a reciprocal thing where I've gone through school. We have state school in England, so the state funds everyone's education, and it doesn't matter. It's only really rich people that put people in private school, but generally, like, if you're very poor or like middle class or anything there's a difference in income for people of those socioeconomic ranges, but most people of those socioeconomic ranges, they go to state school unless they get a scholarship or something. So like people like me, like my family weren't rich or anything, but we went to state school, and I got to interact with people from different socioeconomic statuses and stuff, and I've still done quite well for, from what I came from. And they are the parasites, and the people who don't contribute, they steal taxpayers' money, so it takes it away from the people by putting in all those fraudulent applications for grants and stuff like that for all of these tech startups that make intelligence that's used for war and robots that's used for killing people. So everything they do is for destruction, and they take the money away from actual people from here, from the land, from people like me who's from Manchester local, grow up here, know everything. Like, they take those opportunities from us, and they're calling I'm saying he. I don't know if it's a he or a she, but like, they were calling me a scrounger, a scrounger of Zionist Manchester. And that's basically the same framing that they do for Palestinians, because we, like, as Palestinians, we should be grateful that we were given work. Like, we have permits and we get some money. But they put the siege on, they block all the exports. They, even if they do allow exports, they make it so all of the taxes and all of the shipping and everything is too expensive to make it viable. So if they don't physically block it, they block it by the apartheid system that they put on exports. This shit never lasts, bro. This shit never lasts. Like I said, they've had a good run. But now they've got to pay back. They've got to pay back times 7. That's what it says in the Bible. I think it says that. I can't remember what it says in the Quran, but it says something similar, where if you conduct yourself in that kind of way to gain, expect to pay back. Pay back. And they're so delusional and have gotten away with such impunity of all the crimes. Oh, they can murder, no consequences. They can rape, no consequences. Like, no, there's just no consequences. No consequences. So what's a little bit of fraud, you know? What's stealing a house? You know, what's engineering all this paperwork and these processes so we can get 5 holidays a year? Like, on the scheme of crimes, it's nothing, is it? In their mind. But the system allows it, the country allows it, and they're in bed with all the police and everything. So now they've got themselves all in bed with the law enforcement, that no one trusts the law enforcement, and it would take a whistleblower type person now, like a good law person, which they'll be seen as a whistleblower. So that's the kind of thing they've done. That's the kind of bullshit they've done. But it will all come to light. I'm not the only one that this is happening to, 100%, because this is systematic. And basically, if anyone's got their head screwed on and they're actually paying attention, Britain is a secular country. Guess what countries were secular? I'll wait. Iraq. Syria. Lebanon is secular. Palestine was secular. Like, Britain is secular, right? Britain's secular. And in Britain, we have had the EDL. So take it along the same veins as what's happened in Syria, yeah? Where Al-Qaeda and ISIS have rebranded themselves to kind of distance themselves away. But it's still the same people. We had the EDL, which have disbanded themselves, and they've obviously had support or something to rebrand themselves. And they've got Tommy Robinson, who now is like classing himself as a political prisoner. But these are all people funded by ISIS-Rail to do uprisings against the government, which is also funded and taking bribes from ISIS-Rail to destroy our heritage in Britain, to destroy farming and grassroots. So what doesn't matter what you want to say about Tories, British people that hate Tories. Tories build our infrastructure. It doesn't matter that farmers vote Tories. They couldn't give two shits. They have heritage, they have roots, they have legacies, they have knowledge, they give a lot. And they're more moderate Tories, in all honesty. They're not your crazy Tories. And there's people of the same mentality as farmers who vote Tory, and they vote Tory because it's financially beneficial for them. That's why they do it. Which it doesn't really matter, but it makes sense why they do it. But at the end of the day, they have traditional rooted values. They are people from England. They are the people who give, like, they nourish the people. They nourish the people. They stock the stores so we can eat, and then so we can go to work, and they're destroying that infrastructure, because they're of laws that they're trying to get through. So they get money for land and stuff that they just want to steal from people, so they can't have. So the people who actually own it now will be forced to either like sell it or whatever because of expenses that they just all of a sudden can't afford, and then they can't continue what's in their family lines and what they've it's really sick and twisted. But then also they're doing things like collapsing the NHS. I've mentioned it before in other videos, but it's relevant this as well. But pay attention that it's ISIS-Rail. These politicians and think that ISIS-Rail is their friend. Like ISIS-Rail, what they call like mole Sipi Hotelevi was seen with the Home Secretary like the other day. Who's signing off on all these drones? The Home Secretary, the Foreign Secretary. Like, it's just, that's what they do. They have these meetings like in the Roald Dahl's Witches in these closed rooms with the wigs on and stuff, and all events that are funded using taxpayers' money. They can get grants and stuff for them. You can get grants for like bringing business to the UK. Go and look it up. Just Google it right now. That's what this British taxpayers' money. British taxpayers' money. Anyway, I'm very hungry now, and I have to make a decision about what I'm going to eat. So I'm just going to leave this video here, and yeah, go to my Instagram and go to my Instagram anyway. There's lots of things there. Stuff that's like more what I do from a meditative state and like more of a peaceful state. You have to go back before the time of the genocide starting, really, to get a sense of what my work is from that regard. Is there's still a bit about healing generational trauma and stuff, because what Palestinians are generational curse breakers, which is very hard soul work that we do. Like, that's what we are doing in Gaza right now. Whereas those lot, it's very easy to make generational curses for themselves as well as other people. That's what they're doing. All around the world, infiltrating the little tentacles. But everything catches up. Karma don't forget an address. Karma is a universal law. Cause, effect. It's very easy to understand, very simple. And it is true. It is true. That's all it is. Cause, effect, action, reaction. That's it. But for some reason, Zion Nazis don't think it applies to them. Well, 2025 is here and I'm going to go and get some food. Love yous. See you in the next video. Bye.